Hey guys, Mateo here. So I just want to show you how you can level up from a beginner to an intermediate or advanced level at AI. So at the crux of all of it is Obsidian. So you could use any notes app, but Obsidian is really popular. And it's essentially just a notes app that AI is really good at reading. It's completely free. It lives locally on your computer, and if you want, you could pay for a cloud sync version. I just use the local version, and essentially, yeah. So every codex or every Cloud Code chat I have gets automatically saved into Obsidian, the full transcript. And thanks to this, I don't have to think about, oh, does my AI know about this? I know that it 100% does because it's saved somewhere in the Obsidian, and I can tell it to search in the Obsidian for the relevant context, and it will always find it for me. One of the main problems I see beginners to AI having is that they are using Claude or ChatGPT on the desktop app version or on the web version, and those versions are limited in the amount of context that they can retrieve from. There's no full back end where there's thousands of your chats saved, so it'll almost always forget something and not be able to fetch it 100% of the time. That's what Obsidian solves. Another thing it solves is that if you want to use another AI in the future, think about like OpenCode or Hermes or any other agent like Kimi or GLM, things like that. You can instantly attach it to your Obsidian, and now it has all of the memory that any other agent would have. So that's why I think it's really powerful, and a lot of engineers are using it. And even though I'm not an engineer, I really benefit from it, and I think anyone can benefit from this sort of system. No matter what kind of business you have, having an brain for your AI is extremely important. So, in terms of the way mine works is I get a lot of business communications on WhatsApp, Slack, and Discord. So I have it automatically synced to my Obsidian. Some of them have it where um, the second I get a message from a certain person, it updates the Obsidian and then notifies me on WhatsApp. And for Gmail, um, I have multiple Gmail accounts. One of them, I want every single mail that I get to be saved to Obsidian. Another one, I would only want mails from certain people to be saved to Obsidian. And you can set this up however you want. So whatever tools you have, you can connect them to Obsidian and have them constantly feeding data into your business's brain. So the way this is done is through the use of what's called a daemon. It's just a small, always on program, and you could have Claude or Codex make them for you. So, for example, all I did was like for Discord, I was like, I want a Discord daemon that checks this specific server and puts all of those chats into my Obsidian on a real time basis. And essentially, it did it. It's a little bit of back and forth with Claude. It might go ask you to get a token, and sometimes it can get the token for you. You just paste it in, and then pretty much it's good to go. So you can do this with realistically virtually any app, and especially for software like Slack, where a lot of people use the free plan, and in the free plan, messages disappear after 90 days. Um, I use it just to back up my chats and data because I don't want to pay for the paid plan. So I have years worth of data at this point from Slack that I just saved myself rather than paying Slack directly for that simple feature. So you 100% need a brain for your AI, and I recommend Obsidian because it's the easiest to use. Next, I want to go over the term AI agent because everybody is saying this term. Like, it's become probably the most popular buzzword that I've ever seen. But there's no universally agreed upon definition. Even the Wikipedia page says so. So the way that I like to think about it is that an agent is essentially just a folder, and inside of that folder are the skill files, the agent files, the scripts, like the code, references, such as accounts and things like that, and the tools that it has access to, like MCP servers and APIs. Some people call these folders plugins, others call them agents. But yeah, you get the idea. So an agent is this sort of structure. For this meta ads agent, it would be the skills.md, agents, scripts, references, and tools. And this is what one of my actual agents looks like. So this is the meta ads creative engine. Um, so before I show you what it does, I'll show you what it contains. So it has the rules, when to use them, and the spending limits. It has the agents, the brand scout, the copy strategist, the creative Q&A. So these each go out and scan the website. Next, we have the engine, which are Python scripts that essentially deal with the rendering of the images and the placement of the logo. And it also has the tools. So we have Higgs field, Remotion, Pillow, and others. So essentially, this is what an agent looks like, and this is what it's able to make. So literally by just invoking this agent, I just put in this website, which is for my little startup called Lamponi. I told it to make some animations. So it went and it just used what was inside of that agent folder and made these code animations, these 3D animations using Higgs field, and these static creatives. And this example was literally just me putting in the website without any more prompting. You can get as granular as you want with it. But the idea is just to show you what an agent actually is. And you can make any sort of agent yourself. And I would just tell it to follow this structure. So it must have a skill MD, an agents folder, an engine, references, templates, and tools. And then think of any problem you have in your business or anything that you want to automate. You can make an agent for it. Oftentimes, the best agents are going to be ones that you come up with yourself for specific problems that you have in your business. The reason I created the Meta Ads Creative Engine is because it's quite time consuming to create ads from scratch and to even create animations. Like I don't have the skills to do that, but I know AI can do it. So I just made an agent that can do it. And now it can create creatives for any one of my clients without me really having to spend hours doing so. So pretty much the best way to create an agent is just say the job out loud. Just give it a long blurb of what you need done, what tools you use, what a good end result would be. Also guardrails and things not to do. Make it explicit. Another tool I highly recommend using if you want to level up your AI skills is Playwright or Playwriter. I personally use Playwriter and I'll explain why in a bit. But these tools are essentially tools that allow AI to control the browser. And I know you've probably heard of the Claude Chrome extension, but the Claude Chrome extension is just really bad. I think everybody hates it. And the reason it's so bad is that it only takes screenshots of the page, it doesn't actually read the code. But Playwright and Playwriter actually read the code and are able to control the page much more efficiently. And you're essentially able to control the page for hours upon hours, even days. So you can do very repetitive tasks for a long period of time. For example, you can essentially apply to an unlimited amount of jobs just using Playwriter. But if you try to do that with Claude Chrome extension, it would stop you after like 20 and essentially use way more tokens than it needed to. So this is what Playwright website looks like. And then Playwriter, their homepage is broken. So that's not a good look for them, but it's an incredibly useful tool. And essentially, I have it do everything for me. So you see this little Chrome extension here? It's that. So let me give you a little demonstration. I told it to go to my website and submit a test inquiry with a random email, name, and phone number. So it's now controlling this browser, and it's going to do that. So you see this little mouse here? That's it actually controlling the browser. And look here, it put this in literally like 1 second, and it's going to essentially send the inquiry. And the cool part is that you can do this in parallel, meaning you can have up to eight. I would say eight is the safest. Different tabs doing different things. And look, it just submitted the inquiry for us. So your imagination is the limit on what you could do with this, and a lot of people still don't really take advantage of this. People think that like the Claude Chrome extension or like Perplexity browser are like the only things that you can use to control your browser, but it actually Playwriter and Playwright are the best things because it gives you full customization. Like for example, I'm using Playwright to essentially scrape real estate listings in Japan for me and my wife because we're looking for a new apartment. And if I were manually doing this, it would literally take at least 30 minutes to an hour every morning. But this does it for us every morning. and it takes around 5 to 8 minutes, and it does it automatically on a script. So once you train it on what to do, it's able to repeat it over and over and over again without your intervention. And this runs in what's called headless mode. So it doesn't even appear on my screen when it's happening. The only condition for it to work is for my computer to be on, but I've set up this computer so that it's on 24/7 kind of thing. So it just reported back to me the result of it doing that test inquiry on my website. I want to show you how it can also do the work in parallel. So now I'm just doing like a test just to show you the Playwriter parallel. And this is an agent that I made slash skill. I just told it to essentially look through Reddit, get the weather, go on GitHub trending repositories. Um, yeah. So now it's just going through all of these things with their own unique agent. And it reports back to me that the weather agent is done. And now GitHub is done. And now it's just like clicking through my website and stuff like that. I didn't give it a definitive task. I just said like click through every page. But I just wanted to show an example of what it can do. It can essentially do anything you can think of. And there we go. It just reported back, going over all of my pages on the website, the top 10 popular posts on Reddit, the weather in Tokyo this week, and the GitHub trending today. So you can do this with up to 8 agents. I think you could do it with more, but I think the safest is to do it with up to 8. And the cool part about it is it runs on your own Chrome, so you don't have to like relog into anything. That's why I like Playwriter better than Playwright, because Playwright spawns up its own Chromium instance that a lot of the time like loses the cookies, and you have to sign in manually almost every time, and it's just kind of annoying. So I would use Playwriter whenever you can. And yeah, so if it's clickable, then an agent can do it. And then you can make skills and agents around certain websites that you often use for Playwriter to drive them. So I've done this for Meta ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, Klaviyo email marketing software. Like essentially, I've made it for everything that I use. And now instead of prompting it, I just tell it to use the skill and do it for client A, do it for client B. And it knows how to do it. It's trained on how to do it. And it saves me a lot of time. So yeah, I hope you guys got some value out of that. I hope you can take these ideas and implement them into your own business. And to sum it up, just install Obsidian, make one folder, point a coding agent at that folder, make it transform your prompts, write one agent for one boring job, and then you could go out and build more agents for specific use cases for your businesses.